Hello, I think I'm live. Let's just check the sound. Because last time my audio wasn't working. Oh. Yep, that's good. Seems to work. Let's check if it's showing. Okay, so let's work on our game. Hey Mosasaurus, thanks for stopping by. So today I'm going to be working on implementing streaks and player stats into our game here. I'm going to do the UI for it first, just to see what we actually want to keep track of and how it's going to be laid out. So I'm just going to close all of that down, make a new parent. Oh no, not parent, sorry. Right, we've got our game object. So let's call this the stat panel or stat screen. So thinking we'll get a panel back up, UI panel. And let's just set a bit of a color. There is a color I've been using for panels, which is this color here. We can add that to our swatch and then come over here and select that color for our panel. And then I'm just gonna I'm thinking maybe I want to start going full screen with these different windows. So for example, if our main menu is on, we hide our stat screen. Although I quite like the idea as well of you know, sliding these things kind of in and out, kind of animating them. Maybe I could do that later on down the line. But for now, bring our stat screen back. I'm going to keep track of... What do we want to keep track of? I want to keep track of games played, games won, the win ratio, and then maybe like the average guesses taken. So some text. Quicksand. I might introduce some new font variations as well, instead of using the same font all the way through. But for now, we'll just keep this with the semi-bold. So, games played. Auto size it. We're gonna have games played and then the number underneath. So games played. Create an empty parent. Games played text, and then can have games played value. I think I'm going to put some music on as well. Let's see if we can get some music going. So I'm going to play the whole album. Yeah. We've got games played and we want games won. Then we want our win ratio. And then we want our average guesses taken. Let's just change this text first, though. Ooh, battery level critical on my mouse. Hopefully it'll be fine. Probably won't be, but hopefully it will. I should have cables somewhere. Okay, I think that's it for stats that we want to track. Maybe there's something else? What else would we want to track? Imagine the amount of code I'll put into the game. Yeah, quite a lot. Quite a lot of code. Okay, let's get these and move these down into the center then. Just make sure that's all scaling nicely. Seems to be responsive nicely. So let's get this actually programmed in. I'm going to make a new script, StatManager. I've actually ended up with a load of scripts that aren't in my scripts folder, so let's just put them in there before I open Rider properly. Why have they all gone red? Let's just shut this down. So scripts, StatManager. Don't know why they've gone red. I'm sure it'll be fine. Is this compiling? Okay, can we play it? We can play it, okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know why they're red. Oh, they're red because of Git, I think, because I hooked it up to source tree. So I assume that's why that's doing that. So let's get some references here to our text elements. So we've got our games, serialized field, private TM Pro UGUI. And we've got our games played value. We've got our games won value, our win ratio value, and then our average guesses taken value. So let's hook them up. So we've got our stat screen. Let's lock that. We've got a games played value, games won value, win ratio value, and average guesses taken value. So they're all hooked up. In the main menu, just gonna put our stats menu button, sort of the game object for the stats menu in, and then I can assign that. Need to unlock this first. Got our main menu, we can drag in our stat screen. There. And then do stats menu dot set active to false, just so when we hit play it disappears. We'll have to hook in a button, but for now that's fine. So let's go back to our stat manager. So games played and won are going to be ints, and the win ratio and value are going to be floats. So let's get private float games played. No, sorry, private int games played total, or total games played. Well, just games played, and then games won, and then we can do private int private float win ratio and average guesses taken, and then I'm gonna make private const string, games played key is equal to games played, and then I'll do games won key to games won. And the reason I'm doing this is for the player prefs. I've always got a reference to the key then, and this isn't going to change. I want to, because I'm not going to do this into like JSON or anything. For such small values, it's probably better to just store it in player prefs. Win ratio key, win ratio. Just notice I've been given these capital letters, shouldn't do. Average guess key, guesses key, average guesses. Let's give these lowercase w, lowercase g. So on our awake function, I'm going to do games if player prefs dot has key in our games played key. Then our games played value is going to equal player prefs dot get int games played key. Okay, I feel like these should be games played value, games won value, games ratio value, average guesses taken value, and then this I want to rename it to. I'm not going to be able to rename this now, am I? Just comment out these. Oh, Shift F6, isn't it? Obviously. So this can be games played text. This is going to be games won text. Win ratio text. Okay, if I let that compile, that means I'm not going to lose my references in the stat screen, StatManager thing. They're going to stay because we've got these formally serialized as values, and then we can just get rid of them. So they're still there. And then, so we've got our games played key, game one key. And we can set the games played value equal to that if it has it. I'm actually going to just put this all in one line. So if it has it, do that. Else, playerprefs dot set int, and we're going to set the games played key to 0. And now I can copy this. And instead of games played key, I can do games won key and games won value. Copy it again to key, win ratio value. This is instead going to be get float and set float. And then we'll do one more. And let's set the average guesses taken value, which is a float, and get our average guesses key. Okay, so win ratio, guesses, average guesses taken value. Okay, so they all seem to be fine. Win ratio, guesses, 1, played. Okay. So I'm actually gonna let's put this just into its own method. We'll call this init player stats, and it can return void, private. Yep, that's all fine. So we've got our init player stats for initialize our player stats. Ooh, my eyes are a bit dry. And then at the end of all of this, we then want to update our games played, update all the text to display the correct stats. So we'll make another void function. So private void update stat UI. And we'll just call this at the bottom of here. So update stat UI. And we'll say that the games played text.text is equal to games played value dot toString. And we'll do the games one text.text is equal to the games one value dot toString. The win ratio text.text is equal to the win ratio value dot toString. And finally, the average guesses taken text.text is going to be equal to the average guesses taken value dot toString. And this is going to be a float, so I'm going to put it to 2 decimals. And let's do the same for the win ratio. I only want it to go to 2 decimal places. Our ints are fine. Okay, what's right as a name? Average guess does not want you to call classifiers. Constant feels private. Oh, they should be capitalized. Okay, Ryder, you've convinced me. So I mean that initially should be working. I'm just gonna disable that line of code, so when we hit play, they should all go to 0. Yeah, okay, so that's worked. So that's got our where's it gone? So that's done all that. We've now got these keys set and they are at 0. So let's now go to our game manager script, and I want to make a couple more actions that we can hook into. So on guess processed, that's going to be a good one to hook into to increase our average guesses taken value. Yeah, because we're going to want to increase the average guesses taken is going to be total guesses taken divided by the amount of games played. I think that makes sense. So we won't display this in the UI, but we can have total guesses taken value, which will be defaulted to 0. We don't need to update any UI, but we will need to do have a key and store this. So we can do the total guesses key and do total guesses. That's an int, so let's just do it in the order that we've written it out up here. So total guesses key goes here, here, and here. and the total guesses taken value can go here. No, here. So now in our onEnable function, I need to hook into our GameManager on guess processed plus equals increment total guess value. Which doesn't need to be. So I can do that. Create method. I'm just going to do total guesses taken value plus plus. I'm going to put this down here, and then need to unsubscribe from that as well. And so for now, I'm just going to debug.log total guesses taken value. So let's just see how this is actually working then. If we, I need to move the stat string because I don't want this to be disabled at any point, which it will be if I hide the panel. So let's paste our StatManager here, take it off our stat screen here. So we make a guess, so aside. Press enter, aside, guess submitted, guess count increased 2. Okay, I don't need that line of code, so that didn't fire properly. Am I invoking that anywhere? Unity action on guess processed. StatManager on guess processed. Actually, I suppose a better way to do this would just be to do on game state changed, and then so we do on game state changed. And instead, let's do this, and then new state, and then on switch switch on new state, and then we can do case game state processing. Then we can games played, total guesses taken value plus break. Case game state dot starting, no, not starting, I think starting's called when the game's first loaded. You choose mode and load game, and then it restarts the game state. So every time it goes to restarting, that's a new game. So we can do game state.restarting. This should increase our games played value. Okay, let's see if this works. So that's games played, that's increased to 1. So let's make a guess. Okay, so its processing doesn't seem to get fired. It should do though. Change state, game state processing. And then it should be invoking the new state. So let's just see if it's actually getting that call. I also want to get rid of these debug .logs. I mean, if I look at my game manager, you can see our state there. So went to restarting, and then guessing got called twice. Our game is increased to 1, so then we guess. And processing is never called. Although that's probably a better one to hook into for total guesses, but I just don't know why process guess isn't being called. Change state processing. Yeah, well, let's just take this out, and then let's hook into the on-screen keyboard dot on submit guess on guess submitted. I don't need to know what this is. Maybe it'll come in handy at some point. We could always store like a list of what they've been guessing, and then make like a word cloud or something out of that. So here, total guesses taken value, and then debug that. So let's just check that's gonna work. So for some reason, StatManager isn't doing anything. On-screen keyboard, on guess submit. This is definitely being called because it's getting used. It's being used somewhere. So why is that not actually being called? Got our StatManager. So games played is going up every time we click, so that's working. And then if we make a guess, really don't know. I'm just going to restart the editor because that should be working. It's getting called elsewhere. I don't know. So let's see if this works. So they've updated now. I wonder if there was like some weird link broken, but I don't have much hope. Good idea. The UI manager doesn't have. Oh, I'm an idiot. It was on the wrong blooming. The main menu object was getting disabled. Ugh. So then it was unsubscribing from that event. It needs to be always active. Really, this should. You can have a StatManager like object and then a StatManager UI object. Which may be the way to go. I think this should work now. Bloody hell. Right. So let's debug, view this. So we've got down here random word. So that's gone to 1. That's games played. If I type in seeds and do a guess, total guesses taken's now gone up. Seeds. 2. Go back home. Make a new one. So now we're on 2 games played in total. Seeds. It says seeds is now 3 total guesses. Right, okay. Oh, such a stupid like error. Okay, well, I still like doing it this way. Getting the on guess submitted here. I think that's quite a good way because we could, like I said, store the guesses and do like a word cloud of, you know, the most common word. I'm kind of tempted to do that. If I just keep a list of char arrays and then save that out as a JSON file. Hi Persian Game Zone, thanks for stopping by and commenting. Yeah, I'm gonna have like a most used word field because why not? I think that's quite unique. So for that, we're gonna need another serialize field, private text mesh pro UGUI, most used word, text, and then I'm gonna need a private list of char arrays. Well, actually, probably better to have a dictionary because then, if the key is the guess and then the yeah, let's do private list, do string and int, guess dictionary, and then we can save out this dictionary and just increase the int count if it contains that key. Yeah, I think that could be a good way. Could you play a prefs and save the word as the key? The guess as the key. And then just increase the int count. It'd save having to like make a JSON file and like save it out. That that could work. That might be the easier way of doing it. Where are you from? I'm from England. Up north. Guess as string equals guess dot to string. I feel like that isn't wait there. New string passing in the guess array equals new string passing in our guess array. And we'll do 2 lower. And I'm going to do playerprefs dot has key. So if our playerprefs has the key guess as string, then player so then we can do var value equals playerprefs dot get int guess as string, and then we can do playerprefs dot set int. I know, but then if we're keeping it in playerprefs, we're just gonna have loads of different playerprefs. And we need to know the string ahead of time. We won't be able to search. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do the dictionary method with JSON saving, but I won't do that now because I'm just getting sidetracked now. I want to finish what we set out to do. So we've got total guesses taken, so that's that taken care of. We've got games played value. So average guesses taken. I'm going to make I'll put this on a separate line. Private float average guesses taken is going to return total guesses taken divided by games played value. But then we could I'll calculate that when I need to calculate, because I could end up dividing by 0 there, and I don't want to do that. So on guess submitted, that's fine. So then we can set our player prefs here. So we can do player prefs dot set int, and we can. This is our guess is key, so we can use our total guesses key, and the value can be our total guesses taken value. So we'll increase it and then store it. And then for games played, we'll do the same thing. We can do player prefs set int games played value games played key. So let's just check that's working. Excuse me, I'm making a show loading for my game. Are all games like this? Excuse me if I cannot speak English. What do you mean by are all games like this? Like specifically what, like 2D, 3D, like code heavy? Like what do you mean by that? If I come back here, press play, random word, games played value is 1. Come back out, go back in. Our games played value is still 1, which is great. So now if I bring up our stat screen, hit play, games played is 1. We've got our average guesses taken. Thanks, Harish. So here we can now calculate update stat UI. So here we can update average guesses taken.text. So we don't need to store that because we're going to we can calculate that just on the fly. So this value is equal to the total guesses taken divided by total games played. So for example, if we've made 18 guesses and we've only played 2 games, well that will make sense. So 18 guesses across 4 games, our average guesses taken would be 4.5. So do float. Let's do if games played value is not equal to 0, because you don't want to divide by 0. Then we can do that. Else average guesses taken value can just be 0, and then we can update the text there. So let's see if that's working. I'm going to make a button so I can actually start to hide and unhide this because it's getting a little bit annoying. So we've got our main menu up. I'm thinking up here maybe we can have stats, or do we want an actual button? Maybe we want an actual button. So if I get let's open up. Oh nope. Let's open up that prefab. Main menu. So let's move. Oh, why is the tile gone? So I'll move the tile back up. Oh wait, hang on. I've noticed an issue here. I need to apply the changes, these overrides. That's better. Okay, so how to, and then get the social icons, and let's just move these down. I might move everything up slightly. So like there. We'll go our how to play button. And I'm actually going to make a stats button. And we'll swap this back to normal. Stats. And then in our main menu button, main menu script, we can do public void on show stats. And I'll do stats menu dot set active to true. But I'll set it to opposite what it currently is, because then we can close it again. So so we've got our let's go back. So we've got our button. I guess the stat screen can be part of the main menu. It's probably safer to do that. So then when we set up this stats button, we can do main menu on stats menu. And then if we bring up the stat screen, we're going to need another button on this to close the window. UI image. Oh no, sorry, UI button. Close window. Get rid of the text, and we'll just have can have the back button. Yeah. Get our main menu on stats menu. So okay, let's try this now. So let's go back to main menu up here. Check that. So it starts as false. So we've got our thing. Click stats. Games played 1, games 1, 0. Close that back. Stats. Okay, so that's the menu opening and closing. StatManager. So what I want to do is have the ability to refresh this page, but then so every time average guess is taken, so that'll be set to 0. So let's actually play and see what we can do. So random word. Our games played should now be 2. Games played 1. Oh, that's because I need to call update UI after this. I suppose realistically, we'd only want to update the UI when the menu's called instead of after every time, because there's no point. So let's make a public void refresh UI. we could just call that in there. Or do we just make update stat UI public? I like this method because you know, we've actually got the code in here and this is being called in our initialization. At least we know that if there's a reference to this, we're calling it externally from the class. And that's going to be the only place I'll call it from. So back over to our main menu. Instead of game object for our stats menu, I can just put StatManager, which I'll have to relink that. And then stats menu dot game object dot set active false. And then here we can do dot game object dot set active to game object dot active self. And then if we're now being displayed, let's stats menu dot refresh UI. So games played 2. Just need to relink that. So I was making the actual canvas invisible then, which isn't what I want. Bring our stat menu panel there instead. So it should work now. Games played 3. Games played 4. Let's do some guesses. So aside, seeds, yours, drive. Obviously, I'm using up words here that aren't driver, drive. I'm not trying to guess it, but let's see. What is the actual word? Amnio. So go back to the main menu, stats, average guesses taken 1. So why would it be 1? total guesses taken. Oh yeah, 5. And we've done 5 games. Obviously that's not correct because I suppose it is correct, it's just broke. It's just not, it doesn't make any logical sense. Because we did take 5 guesses and we've played 5 games. But the 4 games weren't completed. So I guess instead of keeping track of games played, because we want to do games played to completion, not just started, in case people do quit. So let's do game state win. And we can do the exact same thing, but for game state lose. So no matter which, you know, whether they win or lose, the games played value will go up. And let's clear the player prefs as well for edit. Clear all player prefs. All right, let's try this again. So we hit play. Oh yeah, definitely record a Persian tutorial. Like, use your, you know, the more. You gotta think, like, would you have loved to see a Persian channel at the time when you were learning? And if so, then that's kind of the answer to your question. So, random word. If I go back, stats, games played, still 0. Go to our game manager. So, bleak is the word. Let me just do a couple of guesses. So, it's not that, it's not this. And then do bleak. So go back to our main menu, stats, games played 2. How would that be 2 games played? Oh no, let's just run out of guesses and see what happens. So that's games played 3. Fought, so that's win 1. Games played 5. Okay, so when it classes as win, it's also going to lose as well. So that's not a problem in this code, that seems to be a problem in my game manager code. Okay, so win's getting called twice. Because I'm literally calling it twice for some reason. Why would I be doing that? I don't know. edit clear refs. Random word aorta. So aorta. State is 1. Main menu. Stats. Played 1 game. We did 1 guess. So let's boons. Let's do boots and then bones and then boons. Games played 2. Average guess is taken 2. Because I guess the 2, yeah, that might be fine. But yeah, I think I'll probably leave it there. I've been going for just over an hour now, an hour and 20 minutes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.